a little quick little brief thing here, and then you guys ask questions. Is the academy starting soon? And so I hope you're physically prepared. It's long. Um, it's going to be 15 weeks, 16 weeks soccer, but it's a long process. It's hands on, not classroom work or anything like that. It's outside on the grinder working. So you better be physically prepared for it. You better be physically prepared to work long days, day after day. So I will encourage you that if your cardio is not up to speed, you better hurry. You don't got much time. So um, that's an important part of this academy is you will be judged on your attitude, your effort, but also your performance. And part of that performance is you come to the academy prepared. Remember, in the fire service, I'm going to talk a lot about this. Is either we succeed together, we fail together. And if you come to this academy unprepared, you come physically not in shape, you're letting not yourself down, but the rest of your academy down. And ultimately, they're going to pay the price for it along with you. So I just want to encourage you that if you have not taken the time, you don't have much time to really do anything about it, but you better start working on it. So you better become prepared, ready to work, and ready for long days of grinding it out. So uh, I'll get off my soapbox on that, but just want to make sure you guys know that that's something that's going to happen. That these are long, hard days that you guys are working all day long. So this academy will be 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, for the majority of the academy. So you'll work 8 5s, which I think is a little better for you for your learning, things like that. But like I said, the majority, 90% of the time, we are going to be outside loading hose, pulling hose, taking hydrants, pulling ceiling, whatever it may be, cutting holes on roofs. The majority of the academy is going to be based on you guys working. So I want to warn you from the start. That's the majority of your academy. So, any questions? Any apprehensions you guys have or anything like that?
I just have a quick question, sir.
Yeah. Hey, first of all, you got to acknowledge who you are. I got a
Okay.
lot of people on this, like, so let me know who I'm talking to.
Yes, sir. Yeah, this is Isaac Reed. And so you
Hey,
said that.
Isaac, first and foremost, why is your camera not on?
Oh, I'm sorry if it's not
Why is it hiding?
showing.
Okay,
I
that's
see
fine.
him.
Okay, it should be on.
Right on.
All right. So you said we'll be working outside on the grinder most of the time, but then we'll have the Fire 1 and 2 test to complete, right? So we won't have any of the classroom or doing like any of the bookwork during the week or during the time we're at the training academy.
Yeah. So we have a couple different things. So you have your Fire 1 and 2 that you'll test for in the end of the academy. If you already have your Fire 1 and 2, then that's fine. But and that's the state of Arizona. That's not outside states or anything like that. But you will be taking at the end. You will be taking the Arizona Center for Fire Service Excellence is who does our firefighting 1 and 2 here in the state of Arizona. So you will test for that. But then also, as a class, you still will have to follow the IFSTA manual, and so everyone will take that. Doesn't matter if you have Fire 1 or 2. You'll have weekly tests, chapter tests on your IFSTA homework. And yes, that will be from home. I will do my best to give time at do that. Most Fridays we should be having live fire events, and once we're done cleaning up and doing all that kind of stuff, then you guys will have time to go home and do your weekly quiz and things of that nature, and do some studying over the weekend. But yeah, majority, if not all of your studying with IFSTA in the IFSTA platform will be at home.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. And Isaac, if you got follow-up questions to it, or any of you guys have follow-up questions, please ask. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. I'd hate for it me not be clear about it. Okay. So, but yeah, majority of your stuff is going to be your studying is going to be on your own time. I will do my best to help you out with that and remind you about quizzes. But you guys are all grown-ass adults. Okay, it's going to be your responsibility to do it on your own and to take care of it. So I'll do my best to help you out, but that's just part of having a career. What else? Give me something else.
Good evening, sir. This is Bennett Nejad Day. I just had a question about the test for the fire certs 1 and 2. If we do have that already, I understand we might have to take quizzes throughout just for scoring for the academy purposes, but will we have to take that final at the end as well? Or
no, you won't. You won't have to do the fire 1 and 2. You won't have to do the written or the practical.
Okay, very well.
But you will. Yeah, you will. You will be required to do the IFSTA. That's part of the academy itself, the accreditation of that. And with those quizzes, you will at least have to get an 80% on your midterm, your final, and then your weekly quizzes. But if you do have your fire 1 and 2, the only issue maybe is if you don't have your pro board certificate when it comes to hazmat and all those. You'll get an email from Trish Hawkins, who's my admin, to ask for all those certificates. So we'll know throughout the whole academy who's going to take the test and who's not going to do it. But if you do have your 1 in Arizona, then you would not have to take the firefighter 1 and 2 written and the practical.
Hey, Bennett, just because
you
asked a question, I was given this picture. Is this you?
Oh, geez. That is me. Yes, sir.
Dang it! There's too many people on the screen. I can't even see it.
Oh no.
Troy, I sent it to you, so his captain wanted you to have it.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Bennett, describe that for me. Oh, is that you with the shirt on?
Yes, sir. And my amazing shoes. I'm gonna have to give those to him when I take off here.
Hey, why not? Why not? Okay. Yeah, okay. Next question.
I got a question.
Yeah.
What type of advice would you have for us with families? What kind of conversations should we be having with them to prepare them for the next 16 weeks?
Okay. So part of that, yeah, Chase, I appreciate the question. So the first week, you guys have your city HR week, the 29th, right? You guys start with the city HR week. And one thing I want to tell you is don't mess around with that. Okay. I expect you guys to show up, be kind to other city employees. You guys aren't special or anything like that. So you guys will show up, dress well. You'll ask pertinent questions. Won't be falling asleep, anything like that. I have no patience at all if we're being dumbasses around the rest of the city, right? So we got to make sure that we show up those first 2 days, ready to listen, ask questions if we need be, kind of deal. But it shouldn't be a thing that you guys stand out or anything like that. So with that, on Wednesday of that week, you'll be at the academy, and then Thursday you'll also be at the academy. That Thursday we have family night, and that's when your family will come in, and that will be on February 1st. And don't quote me on this time. I'll get it to you guys here soon, but I think it's in that email Trish sent you guys out this week. It's either 6 or 6:30, but I believe it's 6:30. You guys will have a family night where your family will come in. I'll introduce all the staff, kind of talking a little about the fire service. Then you guys will go off with a recruit that just graduated from the last academy. You can ask any questions. There'll be no staff there. Sometimes there's some questions that you guys have that you're kind of you have apprehension about asking me about. So that's that kind of that nitty gritty ask questions of someone who just went through the academy. And then I will sit down with your families and answer any questions, give them a little history of the fire service, kind of what's going to happen to you guys throughout the academy. So on that family night, Chase, a lot of those questions will be answered. And your family have plenty of time to ask questions, anything that they want when it comes to that. But let's be honest, it's a long haul. I know it's only 15 weeks, but it's long. You guys be outside all day, every day, working in turnouts, working hard. And that's why I talk about your cardio portion of it. So with that, You're gonna get home and you're gonna be a little hangry. You're gonna be tired. You're gonna go fall asleep at 7 o'clock. You know, you're gonna have to be at the academy at 5:30. So a lot of you guys are gonna start working at about 4:30. So it is a change, but once again, it is temporary. It is just part of the process that we do. So we will go through a lot more of that. Also, Captain Stockrider on the Mesa side is in charge of our peer support. He's going to do a family academy, and that's going to be in early, if I remember right, it's in February. He'll be sending an email out that. And that's a time for your family also to sit down with peer support, talk to them about kind of the changes about as you progress in this career and some things that may change about you. So we'll also have that as well. So your family night on the 1st of February, and then in early February, you'll also have a peer support event for your family as well that I will strongly encourage you guys to take part in. Cool.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, right us.
Hey, Cap, Richard Wallace. Kids or no kids at family night?
Oh, family night is always about kids, man. One thing I'll talk to you guys and your family about. I don't know if anyone has any. The fire service is about families, guys. It's not or anything like that. You'll bring all your family if you want. If my kids will sit back and probably make a lot of noise. And I have 4 sons, so I'm a very family-oriented guy. So kids make a bunch of noise and cry the whole time. Who cares? It doesn't make a difference. But part of this fire service also in the academy is if your wife is pregnant or your girlfriend's pregnant, I do not want you to miss the birth of your child or anything stupid like that. I know life happens, especially for 36 of you guys, which is going to be our Mesa, the amount of people right now that we have for Mesa. I think we have a total of 53 based upon other departments that are going to join us. So we have some other departments, Fort McDowell, Gilbert, Casa Grande, Maricopa, Superstition, and Mesa. I think there's departments that are going to join us. One thing I expect from you guys is that there's no difference in any other department. I'm going to expect you guys to interact with everyone else. I'm going to expect you treat them the same as we treat each other. In the academy, you guys are all recruits. And so there's no distinction between departments or anything like that. So that's a big deal as well. But on the family side, have your family join, kids and all. If they cry throughout the whole thing, no one cares. No one's going to worry about that. That's just part of life, okay?
All right. Hey, this is Mike Rodado, guys. So sorry about that. I've been having some difficulties. As Corey mentioned, family's first here at the fire department. I had a family emergency come up. I left my laptop back at the office, so I'm making things work. I'm over here at station 219. And unfortunately, they don't have cameras, and so I got 2 different things going because I wanted to record it for members that couldn't make it. We're just making the best of a difficult situation here. But I just want to let all you guys know, like, this is your opportunity to talk to a training captain, ask any question. Like, don't be embarrassed. Those questions, dumb question. We just want you guys to kind of know what to expect when you start the first day. So I know some of you have asked questions already, so I'm just encouraging you to don't hold back. Nothing's off the table.
Yeah.
Hey, Cap, this is Brandon Frost. How you doing?
Good. Doing well. Thank you.
Good. I got a question. I didn't know, are we going to be graded and ranked upon our scoring in the academy? Is that going to rank our badge numbers at the end of the academy?
No, your badge number is based upon your employee number, and that's based upon your alphabetical number. I do rank you. You will be ranked, but each department's different. So once again, we have 6 departments joining us. Some base seniority based upon ranking, some don't. So for the 36 Mesa, we are not ranked on seniority. You guys will be based. You guys will all have the same class seniority. But just like anything in the fire service, there is competition. You guys will compete against each other for skills course times, quizzes, things of that nature, and you will be ranked. But no, it does not have any, if, you know, for being frank and honest, there's no bearing on your seniority based upon where you place in the class. But
Okay.
I will use it for your shifts. So at the end of the academy, the shift commander will tell me I have a certain amount of people per shift, and I will go based upon your quiz scores and your skills course times, and that will base what shift you get, as in the person with the best skills course and quiz time combined will get to choose what shift they go on. So if there's any disputes on shifts, I do go to your class ranking based upon that throughout the academy. It's all
Okay.
quizzes, all.
Okay.
Anybody else out there?
Yeah, hey, I've got another question. This is Isaac Reed.
Yeah.
Hey, sirs. You know, I looked over the information as far as the medical benefits and things that were sent over by Mike. And so just kind of like, I don't know if there's any just general advice you can give, but like for kind of our initial selections and stuff, I mean, is it wise to kind of go for a higher medical coverage just because of the nature of the job, or is basic coverage okay if you just don't go to the doctor that often?
Yeah, and Bryson will hit on this, but also I was on the executive board of the union for 10 years doing benefits, so I do have a little bit of knowledge on this, Isaac. But Bryson would happy to sit down with you and go over each thing on what you want to do. But yeah, you have to decide what's best for you. A lot of guys on the job in the city are going to be looking towards the 50-50 coverage. And, you know, I've been on that probably for the last 15 years, and it's done me well. But once again, you have to look at what your past medical bills have been. But Bryson later on the call will answer all questions when it comes to the medical plan. But yeah, I think it's a great plan, especially for a lot of you. I mean, I'm married with 4 kids, and I'm still on the 50-50 plan. But I have money set aside that I've saved over the years that if we have a catastrophic event or something like that, that I'm able to pay for those deductibles. But Bryson will go over that with you. But especially for a bunch of single guys, you know, looking at that higher deductible plan is not a bad deal at all on saving money. But once again, you have to be adults. You have to be able to put money in the bank. You have to have a savings account that if you have an emergency, that you have the money to pay for that emergency. But yeah, there's a lot of good plans out there. But especially that 50-50 is something that kind of sets the city apart. There's not many cities that have that. I don't know of any other city that has a free plan. And at the end of it, the deductible is not that high for most people. So it's not a bad plan to go with. Well, Bryson's going to talk to you about that later on.
Yeah, you're going to be happy with your benefit package. You know, that's one of the things that the city of Mesa offers that is just outstanding. But like I said, Bryson's going to touch on that. But as far as questions for Captain Walter, we'll just keep them focused on the training academy for now. I know we've got some information to cover, but who else? Anybody else got anything for Captain Walter?
Yes, I do, sir. Evening, gentlemen. I just had a quick question about the kind of, I guess you'd call it specs for the trucks or engines. What type of like hose load will we be like primarily focused on, or what's kind of Mesa's go-to for the hose load?
Yeah, and so one of the things you guys will realize pretty soon is you guys work for Mesa, but on the academy side, we're not Mesa centric. Okay? There's 5 regional academies in the valley, and as a regional academy, we are not just worried about what department we work for. So, but the majority of what we teach is going to be the Minuteman and the triple load will be the 2 that we'll go to most. We use both of those in Mesa. There are some things like Salt River does a Scorpion load and some others. But at this academy, we don't have any Salt River recruits in there, so we don't have to worry about it. But you'll look at triple load and Minuteman. But once again, you guys are the 36 from Mesa. but we have 55 total recruits or something of that nature, 53. We don't just teach, we don't separate you guys out. You guys will be an engine crew with every other department. We don't segregate or we don't treat you guys any differently. And with that, you're going to learn some stuff on a regional scale that if you pulled up on scene at Superstition or Gilbert or Tempe, that you'd be able to pull a hose line off of their truck. So on the regional academy side, we don't differentiate between departments at all. So, but the two that you'll look at the majority of the time will be, in the majority of the neighboring cities, will be the Minuteman and the triple load, and then possibly the flat load and some other ones like that.
Thank you.
Of course. Anything else, gentlemen?
Yeah, well, sir, I have a quick question for you.
Cool.
When we're going to be doing all that work every day, you mentioned in the turnouts, are we going to have the opportunity to like wash the liners or anything while we're in the academy, or are we taking that home, doing that ourselves?
No, you will not actually be allowed to take home your turnouts.
Okay.
You know, once again, we are also focused on the cancer abatement thing as well. So you guys will get your turnouts professionally washed every week. I say that, but after every live fire that we are in Class A material, as in wood. When we do things like Class B, like a gas prop, we won't necessarily always wash the turnouts after that. But if we are using Class A, we will wash those turnouts. You'll get 2 sets of turnouts. But also, your grinder gear, will assign you a set of grinder gear, which is kind of your stuff you wear every day that you beat up. It will never go onto fire. It's a no live burn. It's not rated to go into fire. You are more than welcome to hose it out and hang it up anytime that you want, just to clean it out. But your live fire stuff, I think throughout the academy, your stuff gets washed, just off the top of my head, like 8 times. Something that we're taking out to be professionally inspected and washed. You know, as an academy, I don't know, it's like $6,000 each time we wash our turnouts, kind of deal. Not individually, but as an academy. So we do spend a lot of time and a lot of effort to make sure that we take care of that cancer abatement as much as we can. So the department spends a lot of money making sure that you guys are taken care of.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Cool.
Anybody else? All right, Troy. You guys will. This isn't the last time, so you'll get some information from Troy and the other training captains when you arrive at the training academy. We'll have a little bit more for you. This is just kind of an informal opportunity for you to ask those questions, so you know coming in the first day of kind of what to be prepared for. So, Captain Malton, thank you for joining us.
Right on. You guys will see me on the 31st on that. So Monday, Tuesday, you'll be with the city. Part of that time is at the academy, so maybe you'll see me on the 30th, but the 31st is when you guys will show up. All the recruits from the other departments will also show up on the 31st as well. We will not be doing PT on the 31st or the 1st, but you guys will show up ready to work. We're going to give you your no live burns, give you your lockers, make sure everyone has all their turnouts. You'll get your SCBAs, everything like that will be on the 31st and the 1st. And we'll kind of talk about our routine for the week. And then starting February 5th is when the academy officially starts. That's week 1. And so we try to get all that on kind of the pre-academy time frame. And then starting February 5th is when we'll start out a little slow. I have a lot of things that we have to cover city-wise. And then also before we do any live fire, there's quite a few classes that we have to take. So we will start out slowly on the 5th, the week of the 5th. You guys will have a lot more classroom time, but after the 5th, starting the second week on the 12th, majority, if not all of it's going to be outside working and learning. So we'll start out. I have a lot of required stuff that has to be done. Start out with, but after that, the majority of the academy is going to be kind of hands-on outside. So I look forward to meeting you guys on either the 30th or the 31st. Like I talked about before, physically fitness. Become ready to work. I'm ready to grind, ready to spend each day working hard outside. I said, this is not going to be focused on classroom or anything like that. It's going to be hands-on all day long sweating. So I hope you're ready.
All right. Hey, Troy, do you know if Trish sent out the email for the first day information?
Yeah, Trish did send out the email today.
Perfect.
To my knowledge.
Okay, so you guys should be checking your emails or get more information there.
Yeah, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit more on the 31st. You guys will meet all the RTOs. I'll like I said, I'll sign lockers. We'll make sure you get your turnouts. We'll get all your tools, get everything ready on the 30th and 31st. Those 2 days we kind of spend time. You guys get fitted for your extrication stuff. A lot of your turnouts and stuff like that, it takes 6 months or more to get manufactured. So we try to get all that stuff. I know you guys went for fittings and stuff like that, but we try to get all that stuff figured out beforehand, even your blue shirts, stuff like that. It takes a long time. We have to order it pretty far in advance. So starting that 31st, you guys will be with me, and you'll meet all the RTOs, and we'll just clean up the grounds, get it ready, and just make sure all your stuff is here and ready to start on February 5th. So be ready.
All right. Have a good night, Troy.
Cool. Thanks, Mike. Take care. Later.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody. Again, I want to apologize for that inconvenience there. A lot going on today, but we made it happen. We got a saying at fire personnel, at least nobody died. Nobody died, so it's all going to be okay, right? So we get through this. Just a couple things I want to mention before I turn things over to Bryson is that did you get the workout information via email? Okay, good. So that's great information. You have examples there. So hopefully you've already started doing that. The academy is not too far off. So never too late to start. If you haven't got around to it, that's going to put you ahead of the game. And you kind of experienced some of that during the intern academy. So it's not something we usually do, most of us, in our normal workout. So that's going to be helpful for you. Also, some other things I just want to put on your radar is if you're coming from out of state, you got to make sure, because we know about the driver's license issue, that you have your driver's license. As soon as you get into town, make that a priority. If you're in state, you still have to bring your driver's license. You know, if you haven't turned it in already, bring your physical driver's license, because that is a condition of employment on the first day. So that is important. Hopefully you've gotten a chance to look over the benefit package, because there's a lot of information. The reason, one of the reasons why we had Bryson tonight is because you guys are starting at the end of the month. And so what usually happens, you'll start the academy, first day of employment with the city, and then you have a chance to change it the following month. Well, the following month is just days away from the start of your academy. So, you got to have to be preloaded with some of this information. So don't hold back. Bryson has some information to share with you. Please ask plenty of questions. This is good. This plan will be with you for the next year, right? And especially if you have a family and you have special needs of your own, now is the time to kind of address that. You will get another presentation during your onboarding, your first day or two of your time with Mesa. But again, this is kind of the time where you're going to get that personal touch, because we do have a labor union. The rest of the city does not, other than PD. So here's your chance to kind of get the labor perspective. Bryson, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Mike. Mike, are you staying on or are you jumping off?
I'm staying on.
Okay, perfect. So, hey, how's everybody doing? Bryson Hall. I know probably half of you. The big thing that we're going to go over right now is just the cost of these medical plans and the prescription coverage. So can everybody hear me? Just give me a thumbs up. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to try to share my screen with you here real quick. What was the question the guy had about the medical insurance before? Who was that? And that was Isaac?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was me.
What was your question? Because I got spotty internet here. So if I drop out, just give me a minute and I'll jump back on.
No worries. Yeah, the question was basically just, generally, is it important to have kind of choose one of the better medical and prescription coverages, because of the nature of the job, or is it, if you don't go to the doctor already, better or okay to take one of the lower, more basic plans?
Perfect. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about the cost of them, and then that's a decision you've got to make. But when I break down the costs and stuff, it'll make more sense. So real quick, just to back up. So I do. I'm at ladder 204C shift. And then I do benefits and retirement for our entire local. So we have 9 chapters, and I do benefits and retirement for all of us. I also am the chairman of the Mesa Fireside Deferred Compensation Board. And then today I was at a funeral because I do funeral planning, last team. So, sorry if I wasn't as prepared as I should have been, but I kind of been running around all day, and I was about to take this meeting in my truck, but the internet kept dropping out. So I do a lot of things, and I can answer a lot of questions. This one, let's keep it specifically to these medical benefits for right now, and then I will give you guys my phone number. So actually, we'll do that right now. So if you want to take down my phone number for very specific questions, my phone number is 480-217-0629. Mason, you're not writing anything down, bud. Yeah, I'm gonna call you out. And I gotta forewarn you, you need to watch out for Lauren, or as we like to call her, W. So, because she's a sleeper, and she can attack. So, and her mom's like a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So craziness. So, but awesome. So we'll jump right into it. And did everybody receive an email kind of laying out the Mesa benefits? If you didn't receive one of those emails, there's probably like a new hire thing. But when I look at the new hire stuff on the website, or where it takes you to the new hire information, it doesn't break down the prices, because the prices are dynamic year after year, potentially year after year, they're dynamic. So if you click on the active employee tab, it'll actually give you the price breakdowns a little bit better. But did anybody not receive like a benefits package thing from our personnel department?
I have not received one yet, sir.
Who was that? Tim?
Bennett,
Bennett?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Perfect. So I'm going to kind of run you through one real quick. But you're married and have kids, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Mike Thomas filled me in about you. So,
yeah.
So perfect. Okay. So let me try to share my screen here with you. And let me see what window. Okay, right here. Can everybody see the City of Mesa website kind of benefits information?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
perfect. Everybody sees that? Okay, perfect. So this is in our medical and prescription coverage for our active employees. And this is, let me move this thing out of the way. This is our kind of go-to sheet. So here's the breakdown of our basic medical plan and our choice medical plan and our copay. So the copay one is going to be the most expensive. Okay, and we're going to break down prices here real quick, and the things that you want to look for. Okay, can you guys see my cursor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So your annual deductibles. Okay, if you look on here, the basic plan, which is zero cost for you and your family, okay, has a $500 deductible. Okay, and if you look at the next plan here, and we'll go over prices in a minute, we have a $250 deductible if it's in network. Okay, and then your other one here has a $0 deductible, but that's our most expensive plan. We'll talk about that. So if you look on here, co-insurance, okay, your co-insurance is basically how much of your insurance is going to cover after your deductible on, and there's certain things in there that they still won't cover, and that comes out of the out-of-network part of it, okay? So, excuse me. So if you have an out-of-network on this expensive plan, you're still only getting 50%, okay? And now if you look at over here again, we have the out-of-pocket medical maximums, okay? So if you look at this, if you're an individual, you have a $4,000 out-of-pocket deductible and an $8,000 for your family, okay? And again, this is where that out-of-network versus in-network comes into play, because there is no maximum on it. So you could be potentially getting a higher bill on something like that. And the same thing over here, your out-of-network is still a no maximum. But if you look at, okay, your middle tier still has a $2,000 out-of-pocket deductible or medical maximum. Okay, so that's the most amount of money that you'll pay out of your pocket a year. Okay, $2,000 and $4,000. Now, if you look at the most expensive one, you're at $35 and $71. And over here on this one that you're not paying anything for, you're at $4,000, $8,000. Okay, and then you can break it down by your specialist and everything like that, and emergency room deductibles. I'll give you an example. I'm on the 50/50 plan. Okay, I'm married. I have 3 kids. I just took my daughter to the ER 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, right before Christmas, and she had a respiratory problem because she's got some like seasonal allergies, and then when she gets like respiratory viruses, she gets really sick and has difficulty breathing. Even after this 50% deductible, okay, so I'm going to pay my $500 deductible, okay, and then my bill from the ER, my all-in bill from the ER is what I have to owe them. Basically, they're going to say that's the 50%, okay. Still only came out to under $900. It was like $859, okay. If you just went to the ER on the maximum thing, okay, it's $150 copay. Okay, so there's a big difference there. But again, I paid nothing for the last 5 years being on the 50/50, right? So I should have money saved up to pay for something like that. Everybody following me? Give me a thumbs up. So all I can see is Bennett. Perfect. Thumbs up. Awesome. And then we can talk about some other things later, but the big meat and potatoes of it is this 50% after deductible. So I got to pay the $500, okay, and that's going to go right to the hospital or ER room or urgent care that I go to, and then whatever that insurance doesn't pay after that. And the funny thing about this 50/50 thing is the list that the insurance pays 100% on across these plans is almost identical, okay? So realistically, my bill at the ER was about $5,000 for my daughter. That's what they were charging me. She got IV antibiotics. She got multiple breathing treatments, multiple IV medications for that. And I still am only at about $900. Okay. So if we scroll down, okay, we're going to talk about prescription coverages now. Okay. And then if you look at the bottom here, this actually talks about your monthly premiums, and we're going to break that down per paycheck. Okay. So if you have a child or spouse that uses a lot of medications or that is medication heavy, you really have to take a good look at what the Medicare or medication prescription cost is. Now, with that being said, we got the hiccups all of a sudden. There is multiple plans out there that help you with prescription coverage. The big one that I really like is what is it? Gosh dang it! Now I can't think of the name of it, but it's GoodRx. Okay, those GoodRx cards. You can literally go on their website and put in a medication, and it tells you exactly what the price of that medication is at different pharmacies. Now, because of these generic and preferred brand pricing, okay, so minimum 5, maximum 50, okay, that's your 20%. Now, your medication, like I'll give you an example. I kept getting reoccurring ear infections. The reoccurring ear infections, finally, they had to upgrade my medication to like the highest dose that they can give you before they get to like some IV antibiotics. I go to the CVS at Target that's by my house in Queen Creek, and it's $118 my cost for that medication. So I looked on GoodRx. The pharmacist also was like, that seems really high. Let me see if I can get that price down for you. She said, hey, CVS doesn't offer anything lower than that price, but the Safeway pharmacy around the corner, a mile away, had it for $8. So there's a really big difference between $118 and $8. Okay. And so those are the kind of things you got to think about when you have this basic or choice plan. Okay. Is really understanding the cost of medications and where the best place to go to get them, because they don't care where they send that prescription to. And you don't need to be a long-term member of that pharmacy to get that prescription pricing. You just need to know where the best price is for that medication. Now, the copay choice plan, if you have a diabetic child or a diabetic spouse, this is all covered for your diabetic supplies in this copay choice plan. Now, the basic and choice medical have some very high limits for those types of medications, but most of your diabetic medications, and that's something you need to go through this documentation and find out how expensive those medications are if you would like to choose the basic or the choice plan. And then here's your breakdowns for the copay. Okay. And we can go into that. If you have a medically specific question, by all means, feel free to call me and we'll start pricing out what that actually looks like so you can make the best decision. Now, the meat and potatoes here is how much does this cost me per month? Okay. Well, obviously you can see here that the basic medical plan is $0 for you and $0 for your family. Okay. And we talked about where what it covers and everything there. Okay. Then you have the choice medical plan. Okay. And I'm going to break this down per paycheck for you, so you really know what this price is. Okay. An employee only choice medical plan costs you $70 a paycheck. Okay. Comes out to $153 a month, which you can times that by 12 and it'll give you the price. Now the family plan is $156 per paycheck. So if you add that up, just on the choice medical plan, you're at about $4,000 for family premiums throughout the year. Okay. So that's what you're going to pay. Now you've got to make the decision. If I'm not spending $4,000 right now on medical coverage for my kids, look at what your plan covers now or what your last employer had. Figure out where you spend your money. Okay. And then you can start deducting things and figure out which one's best for you. Now, the other thing that you could do is you can pay yourself those premiums, and then after 2 years, you basically be at the out-of-pocket maximum for that basic medical plan. Now, when we get to the copay medical plan, okay, it's $106 per paycheck, okay, for you as the employee, and $319 for your family per paycheck. Okay, so that comes out to $7,150 a year. Now, if we scroll back up to our out-of-pocket medical maximums, okay, and this is where it really comes into play, and you really got to understand how much money you spend annually on medical coverage. So if you were to take the $319 that you're paying over here and just pay it into a savings account for yourself, and if you can do that and know that diligently, like through your budgeting stuff and through the way you and your spouse or you as yourself as an individual do your bills, even if you paid yourself that coverage over the year, it would come out to $7,100. So as an individual, you should really only save about $4,000, and that can cover you for catastrophic yearly. Okay. Or you can save $8,000 and pay yourself those premiums, and you'd have those premiums in almost a year. It would take you about a year and about 14 months to come up with that cost for it. But then you would only have to pay out of that account what your out-of-pocket maximum is. And so this is if you take your entire coverage to the max. Okay. And then when you take that coverage to the max, this becomes 100%. So once you hit that $8,000 number, say you have a child that breaks their leg and they need multiple surgeries, the max you're going to pay out of pocket is at $8,000. Okay. Does everybody make sense with that? Okay. And the same thing over here, if you're paying that high premium, hold on. If you're paying that high premium, you're still out of pocket medical maximum is $7,150, right? So you understand the difference there. Okay. So I want to say that the benefits lady last told me that medical coverage for the city of Mesa is about 60% in this 50-50 plan. Okay. So that's the entire city. About 60% of the participants in the city are on this basic 50-50 plan. Okay. So that tells you how good it is, but it also doesn't tell you all the little idiosyncrasies that are involved with it. Right. So that's something you kind of got to do your research on. And these are kind of things that you can now, when you go into your benefits talk with the benefits people, you can come up with specific circumstances that you might have, or you can call me and ask me about them. And then we can go through them, and then it'll give you an accurate estimate of how much you spend yearly. Okay. For me and my family, the best thing about this basic plan is it still offers you the ability to go to the Mesa Wellness Center. And let me come back to this so I can see everybody's faces. Can everybody see me, or is it still my screen? Still my screen? Okay. So perfect. So The Mesa Wellness Center. Let me explain that to you real quick. So we have a doctor's office in the city of Mesa that that all of our employees can go to, and that is a free service. You just have to call them and get an appointment. I'll give you an example. So again, my daughter that has the respiratory issues, I take her there. They basically run some tests on her and say, hey, here's a prescription. This should take care of the medication, and there's no copay and there's no bill. Okay, it's all covered inside that City of Mesa plan. It's an amazing resource, and you'll see everybody you work with has probably had an experience there, good or bad. It's just like a regular doctor's office, but everybody has utilized it at some point, and I would say overwhelmingly you'd have good experiences with it. Mike, do you have something to add? Bernardo? No,
I'm
okay,
here. I'm
perfect.
just going between two devices so I can get this recording, hopefully.
Oh.
No, you kind of hit it on the 50-50. It's important to remember, though.
Oh, we lost you there, buddy.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. What's important to remember is the reason why Bryson is kind of giving you some general information is because this is an individual choice, right? So every plan is not right for one plan is not right for everybody, and that's why there's multiple plans to choose from. Another thing too is like you're going to be, you get this information from Bryson, you're going to be overloaded with information when you get to the city with the onboarding process. So hopefully you're taking a lot of information today. Don't worry if you don't get all of it because you're going to get another presentation, but just some things to start thinking about and reviewing those plans. So that's kind of what we're doing here. That's all I got to add right now, Bryson.
No, absolutely. And I'm going to use Justin as an example because he's got like 30 kids. You know, for somebody like that, it might be something where paying the monthly premium is going to save you money in the long run because you got boys in all kinds of different sports, and they're out on the BMX track and crash, and he's not going to be out of pocket anything but $150 for that ER visit versus somebody that might have one child that's not doing anything crazy, doesn't have a trampoline in the backyard, likes to read books, like my other two kids, and doesn't ever go to the doctor. If they go to the doctor, it's catastrophic, and I know that, and I've planned for that. And so that's that difference. So sorry to use you Justin. So
no, that's kind of the thing too, Bryson, right? Is because not everybody has $8,000 put away.
Absolutely.
And a significant event dealing with medical can put people into bankruptcy. It happens across this country all the time. So again, it's like think about it on a personal basis, and again, just pick what's right for you, not just what's right for everybody. So because it is different.
Absolutely. And I want to talk, that kind of segues us into the next thing, is that at the City of Mesa, we have what's called an FSA account, okay? Flexible spending account. I don't know how many people, raise your hand if you're familiar with a flexible spending account. Perfect, okay? So flexible spending accounts have their own little problems, but the City of Mesa doesn't have the option of doing a health savings account or an HSA because we have this 50-50 plan, okay? We don't have these high deductible plans that our IRS limits what we can and can't have. Now, the FSA plan is awesome because the FSA plan, they'll front load that money for you at the beginning of the year, and especially for our new academy graduates, and then you pay off that bill every paycheck. Now, I'll give you an example. So on average, I put about $2,000 into my FSA account, and then they give you a little debit card, and then you swipe that debit card at the eyeglass doctor, the dentist, anything, and that money is earmarked for healthcare. The cool thing is you need to figure out how much money you spend every year in those little $50 copays here and $50 eyeglasses there. So that you know kind of how much you should be putting into that account, because you can only roll over $610 this year. Okay. So you can have $610 that goes over to next year. So your 2025 account, and then you would still have to figure out how much you're going to put in there. And then basically they take that out of your check monthly. So if you figure out what $2,000 is, we'll just go to the quick calculator here. So $2,000 divided by 26 pay periods, because we get paid 26 times a year, right? That's $76 that's coming out of your check. Now, the cool thing about that is, and this is where we get into the post-tax, pre-tax kind of thing that you're going to get into. And we're going to talk about that more when you come out for your union day. And I give you the whole spiel on new recruit enrollment into our benefit package as far as our 457 and the potential for signing up for your 401a after the end of your probationary year. So that $76 comes out, and for ease of math here, we'll just say that you're going to put in $100 per paycheck to FSA account, okay? And that's going to be $2,600 a year that you're putting in there. Now that $600 can roll over. So now you've got to think about spending $2,000. So if you have a lot of kids like Justin, FSA, spending $2,000 would probably be a super easy thing, right? Going to the dentist, going to the eyeglasses, stuff like that, right? Now, what's really cool about that is because it comes out pre-tax, okay? And there is a direct difference into your check, because now you're lowering your taxable liability on your paycheck about 25%. Yeah, just tell Andy that I'm going to be. Is he here? Okay, perfect. Yeah. Oh, we're only 3 now? Doesn't surprise me. Sorry, that was the world famous John Laurie interrupting. See you, Corey. So,
Hey, Bryson, real quick
yep.
before, I know your time is limited.
Yeah.
Can you also talk to them about the different retirement plans? Well, actually, you're going to have time for that a little later in the academy, won't you?
Yeah, we'll have time for that later. And, and we'll get into that. So back to the FSA thing. So there is that lowering of your taxable liability. So realistically, you see a direct check impact. Okay, so the final number in your check, there's about a 25% let off there. Okay, so you're really only seeing about $75 taken out of your check for that FSA account, because again, it's pre-tax and it's earmarked for healthcare, so it doesn't get taxed. Okay, does everybody follow me on that? Perfect. Keith, I see you shaking your head. Thank you, sir. So, perfect. So, with that being said, that FSA thing is awesome, and I try to front load that with some money, and then that's basically what we get into. Now, real quick, before I got to get off, I want to talk to you about vision and dental real quick, because this is where, can everybody see the screen again? Oh, perfect. I just got 5 minutes left in your meeting. So let's talk about dental real quick. Okay. So City of Mesa uses a phenomenal dental program. And if you have adolescent children that need braces, basically the only choice for you is to pick the dental choice plan. And the dental choice plan comes out to $114 per paycheck, or I'm sorry, a month. So they break that up into 2 paychecks, and that is a phenomenal deal, because what it does is it gives you a $3,000 lifetime benefit on braces. So most kids are about $1,500 to $2,000 a year for braces. So they give you $1,500 per year. Most people wear braces for 2 years. That's a phenomenal thing. Now it also changes some annual maximums. So if we look right here, your annual maximum can be $2,300 per person for you and your spouse and your children for that dental services. And they pay preventative up to $100, basic services and major services. Now, what's awesome about this is that it's super cheap. And if you need braces, they also cover adult braces. Okay. So that's through that Delta Dental. And then let me talk about vision real quick, because we only got a couple minutes left. But vision is phenomenal. Our vision plan, I don't know how many people wear glasses or children wear glasses, but if that's the case and you want new glasses every year, and like I go to Vision Works because it's by far the cheapest, and they have awesome frames that you can choose from. I always say that the Premium Plus is awesome. Because if you look on here, they'll even cover Sam's Club and Costco and Walmart, stuff like that. But look at all of the options that they cover: the anti-reflective coating, the progressive lenses. If you have kids that have really bad eyesight, like my son, that has really thick glasses, they give you the polycarbonate lenses included, and they give you a $250 frame allowance. Okay, which is awesome, and that will cost you monthly for a family plan $25 a month. It is absolutely the cheapest way to go. I think it comes out to I think it's like 13 something a paycheck or something like that. It's awesome. And it's a crazy good benefit. And when you take that into your eye doctor, they pretty much can give you whatever you want. So that's kind of the long and short of it. Can everybody see me again? Perfect. So any other questions on that, go through that package. I recommend that you do it with your wife, because it's always good to involve your spouse in any of these decisions that you're making, and make sure that that's the same number she's coming up with, the same numbers you're coming up with, and really have those conversations about what the best plan is for you and your family. So how many people have families? Raise your hand, or wife and kids. So perfect. So basically anything other than employee, there's some employee and spouse pricing, but basically it's employee and family pricing on different things. So that's something to think about. A lot of people raise their hands. So really have that conversation with your spouse, and make those wise decisions on doing it. And they'll give you a more in-depth breakdown, but they're going to want you to pick a plan right then and there. So this is why we're doing it beforehand, so that you have this information, or the beginnings of this information, so you can go in there and pick the right plan that's right for your family. And knowing a lot of you are probably going to take a pay cut from going into the academy and being on that probationary year. So it's a good idea to know how much your finances are, have a budget, try to pay off your credit card debt. That way it limits your financial burden throughout the academy. So any questions real quick? Because I think we got like 30 seconds.
I have a quick one, sir.
Yep.
So for any of the options, or medical, dental, any of that, we don't have to specifically opt in coverage for spouse or family. That's just all automatically covered within the differential pricing there.
Correct. There might be a slight difference on some you and your spouse kind of thing, but they're going to break down those prices better for you. I thought that they got rid of the spouse pricing and just did everything family, but that's something they can answer for you there. So
okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Question, current employees, can we make changes, or are we stuck with what we got currently?
No, because you're now are going to be reclassified as a different employee there, Rusty. So that'll give you the option to change that. That's old Rusty Wallace, our ambulance driver there.
Just to be clear, Bryson, are you 100% positive on that?
They're going to give you more clarification, but the reclassification is one of those things that I believe is like if you were going to have a baby or something like that, you could change your health insurance. It's a life-changing event, I believe. But double check that on the first day, Rusty.
Yeah, I just double check that, just because I just heard some other information on that
Okay.
You're still the same employee, that basically they're getting a promotion.
Oh, okay.
To a different position. And so that's a great question for your onboarding. Get
Absolutely.
further clarification on that.
Yep. Any other questions? This is your guys' time. Yeah, so.
All right, Bryson. Another thing too, and you can jump out if you need to, Bryson. I know you're on shift, but the child care or the dependent flexible spending. Did you talk about that?
Oh, correct. Here, let me hang on a second here. Let me see if I can pull that up, because they did some changes to it, but I don't know if they added it onto the website yet, because there's a bunch of new changes with that. So let me go to, because there's another account and they'll talk about that specifically. Let me just get you guys onto this window. So let me see here. Dependent care flexible spending account. Participants can elect to do the $5,000 per calendar year. Okay. And I don't remember if they front load that or not. But that's definitely a great question, because these numbers right here have all gone up, and there's been some different changes with the Secure Act 2.0 that have made some different rules there. Yeah, that's absolutely a great question for that benefits expert when you have the chance for it, if that's something that you want, because I know there's some stipulations in there on what they consider like a daycare versus like that institutional lean for preschoolers. So there's some differences in there that kind of really There's some really interesting things in there, and I'm not a complete expert on that. I'll just be honest because I've never used it. So when I got hired with the city, all my kids were already school age kids. So
Yeah.
so perfect. Yeah. But that's
Yeah,
definitely if you
something.
have that. Yeah.
Yes, for you recruits that have families, that's one of those things. Again, pre-tax dollars, so it saves you money, right? And we know
Absolutely.
starting with the as a firefighter recruit, you're starting at the bottom of the pay scale. Don't worry, there's going to be opportunity to increase your pay through your career. For example, you that are already paramedics after your rookie rotation, you're off probation, you're already looking at being precepted for that $10,000 increase for a paramedic assignment pay.
$11,000.
11,000. There we go. It's always going up.
Yep.
So just some things to think about. Anybody else got questions for Bryson?
I guess I have one more question, sir. For if you have an existing like 457, will
Yes.
we be able to roll that into whatever the city of Mesa offers for that, or how does that all work?
Absolutely. Yeah, real quick, we'll just briefly go over that real quick. So Mesa offers a 457. Okay, as long as you put in $20 pre-tax, they give you $120 for free. Basically, it's a negotiated benefit that we have per paycheck. Okay, so it comes out to be $3,120 a year. Now, to answer your question specifically, if you have 401as, 401ks. And real quick on this, if you have a 401k, it's basically the same thing as a 401a. All it is just means that if you went to an accountant and you said, "Hey, I have a 401a," they're going to ask you what government agency do you work for. Okay, that's the only thing. It's just an IRS letter that dictates that you're a government worker and you have access to this. So 457, if you have with, let's say you have it, Bennett, with Golder Ranch, okay? And there's no reason for you to leave that money at Golder Ranch when you have no option to have any dictation on how that money's spent. Now, the cool thing is 457s are tied to employment, okay? So when you have a 457 and you leave an agency, okay, like I came from another agency, I had a 457. There's two things you can do. Okay, you can cash it out, pay off debt. Don't buy a boat with it. I see you shaking your head there. Don't be buying boats or lifted trucks with it, right? You can have it cashed out and you can pay off debt, or you can have it rolled over after your sign up period with Mesa. Okay, and who did you have your 457 with at Golder?
It's Fidelity.
Fidelity, perfect. So right now we have Nationwide. There's a potential that we might have a different record keeper in the future. By the time you guys are signing up, it might be a completely different record keeper, or it might be with Nationwide for a couple of days and maybe continue with Nationwide. I don't know how that's going to look, and I can't tell you how it's going to look right now because we're in negotiations for contracts. But yes, you want to do what's called a rollover. There's things called transfers, and transfers are, I'm going from here to there, but I don't want to have access to that money, and I still want it to go in my Mesa pot, and then it tied to employment again. So it's basically tied up. But if you do a rollover, it goes into your account, but you still have access to that money that you rolled over because it was tied to that employment with another agency. I'm just parking it in this account and not taking that money right now. Okay. Yes. So it's a good idea to do a rollover because Mesa has a phenomenal deferred compensation committee that you have access to, and you can go to the meetings and you can actually say, "Hey, I would like to see if we can get this fund added in there. We'll take a look at it, see if it's worth it, and then we'll take it to our committee." So it's a really good thing never to leave those old retirement accounts with your other employer, because now you have no access to making any decisions based on those accounts. Okay, so anybody that has 401ks, anybody that has our guys that came from transport, they have accounts with Empower because they're technically a city employee, not a fire department employee. So they would want to do that rollover process as well to get it into the Mesa Fire deferred comp system. So does that make sense? And we'll go over deferred comp like crazy. You'll be so sick and tired of hearing about it, especially Chase. I know he is. So, but yeah, that's a great question. always move it to your current employer, because that way you have access to it and you can actually see and have input on what's going on there.
Sure.
So
Thank you.
any other questions?
For those the rollovers coming from empowerment, do you know, is there like are those get taxed or anything
Nope.
like that? Or is it just
No,
completely switch over?
Yeah, if you do a rollover, it's like just taking that from one to another. But again,
Okay.
that money will grow in interest, but you potentially still have access to that money that you moved over there because you left that employer. Okay.
Okay.
So if you ever had a hardship later, you still have access to some of that money. So,
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep. Anybody else?
All right. Well, there's more to come.
Perfect.
Don't worry about it.
Yep.
That's your last exposure to these conversations. Bryson, thank you very much for joining us, taking time off shift. And thank the crew too. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. We'll see you guys. And everybody's got my number. So if you have anything, just call me or shoot me a text. Just make sure you put on your name, what your name was and everything. That way I don't save you under a wrong contact. So, all righty.
All
right.
Thanks, Bryson.
No problem. I'm going to jump off, Mike, because I got to throw my turnouts on.
Okay, you got it. Take care.
All right. See ya.
Okay, a lot of information. Hopefully you found that useful. These are important decisions, like I say. Like I said, some of you guys are taking a pay cut, and so getting access as far as making your paycheck look as getting as much money out of your paycheck as you can, and you can do that with making the right choices on these benefit packages. So another thing I don't think Bryson mentioned is that we're a self-insured city, so we do use Cigna for their planned benefits as far as their doctors and pricing, but we're self-insured. So when there's ever any issues, our union has a great relationship with them, and they tackle that issue for you. So that's good. Anyway, that's kind of what we have for you tonight. Hopefully you guys again are looking at your fitness preparation, right? And also, lastly, with Bryson, I know there's also some personal medical things that people deal with. So please don't hesitate and call Bryson and discuss those issues with them and see what the best options are. Because one thing you'll find, working with the fire department is just a lot of information out there. And there's always people that are willing to help you out. Basically from the first day, we're already kind of talking about retirement benefits and all that good stuff. I can tell you when I was hired at 26 years old, a lot of this stuff just went over my head. But now that I'm looking at retirement here in the next 5 years, it's awesome that I had that information. I was able to put it to use. So same will apply to you. Do you guys have any questions for me before we log off? Okay. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for joining in. I think I was able to successfully record this after a little bit of work ahead of time. I know, these meetings are important to you. You guys are coming here for information. I don't take that lightly. Like I said, unfortunately, I had a family emergency that took priority. And so, that is what it is. So, hey, you guys have a good night. If anything comes up, give me a call, and we'll see you soon. We'll see you on the first day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
You have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.